that new knowledge is not only gained, but also understood, utilized, and applied for greater good. To all the presenters, congratulations for your hard work, dedication, and for having the courage to share your studies. To our listeners and audience, fellow researchers and guests, may you be inspired by the insights, discoveries, and innovations that will be presented throughout this conference. And to everyone present, may this gathering strengthen our collective commitment for making research relevant, responsive, and transformative. Thank you for being part of this meaningful academic endeavor. May this conference be fruitful, inspiring, and memorable to everyone. Once again, welcome and God bless everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haminal. Okay, we also have another participating school, educational institution. We would also like to acknowledge St. Michael College of Cantilan. Thank you so much. Okay, at this point, we shall now hear an inspirational message from St. Michael College of Caraga's school president, Reverend Father Runil G. Babano, STL. A round of applause, please.
Dr. Beverly Haminal, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Research. Dr. Kenneth Ayan Barira, Head, Research, Instructional Innovation Department. Deans, Principals, Heads of Office, Faculty and Staff, Researchers, Presenters, participants across Caraga region, invited keynote speakers, to mention Dr. Lord Gregory D. Gregory Crisol, and of course, our beloved Dr. Jun Villarmia, judges, observers, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with great pleasure to welcome and see you all, dear participants, researchers, to the second Students Research Conference 2026 here at St. Michael College of Caraga with the main theme, Advancing Social Justice and Equity through Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation. Research is crucial today for driving technological innovation, curing diseases, solving complex global problems, and enabling evidence-based decision-making in a world overflowing with information. It fosters critical thinking, drives economic growth, improves daily quality life, and ensures sustainable development by providing data-driven insights. This second Regional Students Research Conference is a gathering of minds focused on regional perspectives, yet global solutions. As we showcase research from across the region, we are not just presenting papers. We are also strengthening academic partnerships and bridging the gap between theory and practice. My dear participants, you are the future researchers and innovators, and through your collective efforts, you are elevating the quality of education and research in our region. Let us engage, share, and rise to the challenges of the future together. Today, we are not just to showcase academic work, but to celebrate the spirit of inquiry and innovation among our students. to our young researchers, your research is not just about finding answers. It's all about asking the right questions and building a future shaped by knowledge and collaboration. As you present your studies today, remember that you are the game changers needed to create real impact and sustainable solutions in our communities. Let us reimagine research as a shared responsibility, one that transcends boundaries and builds a more just, equitable, and sustainable future. What we want to emphasize in this Regional Students Research Conference are the following: innovation, collaboration, and the practical impact of research on sustainable development. It is a celebration of knowledge and a gateway for young researchers to showcase their work and develop skills. Let this research conference be the stage where your academic vision sparks change. Embrace the learning, build your network, and be proud of your contributions to innovation. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Father Babano, for that inspiring words of message. And now we proceed to the reading of the rationale and the introduction of our session judges. Allow me to read the rationale of our activity today. As St. Michael College of Caraga continues to live out its identity and mission as a lux mundi et salteri, the light of the world and the salt of the earth, the conduct of the Second Regional Multidisciplinary Research Conference 2026 stands as a concrete expression of this calling within the academic and research community. More than an institutional undertaking, this conference is a witness to the college's commitment to forming minds and nurturing scholarship that illuminates social realities, upholds truths, and contributes to the transformation of communities. In a time marked by educational inequalities, digital divides, governance concerns, environmental challenges, and health disparities, research must move beyond compliance and academic requirements. It must become a moral and intellectual response to the pressing needs of society. Guided by the theme, Advancing Social Justice and Equity through Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation. This conference affirms that scholarly work is not merely an act of knowledge production, but a form of service. One that gives a voice to the marginalized realities, informs just action, and advances inclusive development. As light, St. Michael College of Caraga is called to promote research that enlightens understanding, challenges indifferences, and offers evidence-based directions for social transformation. As a salt, it is called to preserve the values of integrity, ethical scholarship, and social responsibility in the pursuit of academic excellence. In this spirit, the conference becomes a venue where excellence, where student researchers, faculty mentors, peer institutions, partner institutions, and community stakeholders can share knowledge that is not only rigorous and innovative, but also humane, relevant, and responsive to the needs of the times. This gathering also reflects the college's belief that multidisciplinary research is essential in confronting complex societal issues. No single discipline can challenge or can fully address the realities of inequality and exclusion. Therefore, collaboration across fields is necessary in order to produce solutions that are grounded, transformative, and community-oriented. Through poster presentations, oral sessions, keynote discussions, and scholarly exchange, the conference cultivates a research culture that seeks not only to inform, but also to inspire and foster solidarity. Ultimately, the second Regional Multidisciplinary Research Conference 2026 is rooted in the enduring vocation of St. Michael College of Caraga to be a beacon of knowledge and a force for social good. In gathering scholars and researchers around the shared pursuit of justice, equity, and innovation, the college fulfills its calling to let learning become service and research become a means of becoming lights, hope, and meaningful change in society. That is our rationale for this program. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us proceed to the introduction of our session judges for our individual parallel sessions. For Room 1, we have Dr. Irene May Cagula Escauso. She is a dynamic leader and dedicated professional currently serving as a faculty member in the College of Engineering and Information Technology at Caraga State University, Cabadbaran Campus, and senior business and product consultant at SSD Technology, Cebu City. Continuously advancing her expertise, she is pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology at the University of San Carlos. With over a decade of experience in IT education, including her tenure as IT program head at St. Francis Xavier College, Irene leverages her exceptional leadership, flexible mindset, and strong analytical skills to drive both academic excellence and business solutions. Her passion for technology and education is further demonstrated through her previous PhD in technology management, her role as a resource person for DICT's digital teacher training, and her active involvement, including having previously served as the regional president of the Philippine Society of Information Technology Educators, or PSITE, and as a member of the CHED Caraga Regional Quality Assurance Team, or RQUAT. She is known for her approachable demeanor and commitment to quality education. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Irene May C. Escauso. We also have Raul N. Wapin II, who is a versatile academic and technologist dedicated to seamless integration of digital innovation and pedagogical excellence, holding degrees in both information technology and professional education. Mr. Awapin bridges the gap between technical systems and human-centric learning, offering a specialized dual perspective to today's proceedings. Currently serving as a research assistant and a member of the general education faculty, he manages a diverse academic portfolio teaching both social science and IT-related subjects. This interdisciplinary approach allows him to critically examine the impact of technological advancement on societal structures and modern educational frameworks. Mr. Awapin is further advancing his technical expertise through his current Master of Science in Information Technology studies at Liceo de Cagayan University. A certified civil service passer, he maintains a steadfast commitment to professional standards and evidence-based inquiry. His primary focus remains on the intersection of advanced technology and educational method, ensuring that technical solutions are effectively harnessed to enhance instructional delivery and academic outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Raul N. Wapin II. For Room 2, we have as follows. She is a special education teacher 2, currently assigned at the Talisay Central Elementary School SPED Center. She earned her Master of Arts in Teaching Special Education from Father Saturnino Urios University in 2024 and completed her Bachelor of Elementary Education with specialization in Special Education from the same institution in 2013, graduating magna cum laude and receiving recognition as an outstanding student teacher. Her professional experience includes service as Special Education Teacher 1 at Kitcharao Central Elementary School and as Teacher 1 at Durian Elementary School, Las Nieves, Agusan del Norte, as well as earlier teaching experience at St. Michael College of Caraga. In recognition of her excellence in the field, she was awarded Hiyas ng Agusan del Norte 2021 Outstanding Special Education Teacher and was also named runner-up in the oral research paper presentation during the 7th Caraga Health Research Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Ms. Lian Rosalie B. Lumarda. Next, we have a teacher, author, and award-winning educator currently serving as Teacher 3 at Las Nieves Central Elementary School under the Department of Education, Agusan del Norte. She earned her Master of Arts in Education major in Educational Management from St. Joseph Institute of Technology, where she received the Academic Excellence Award for Best Thesis in 2024. She completed her Bachelor in Elementary Education, General Education at Father Saturnino Urios University in 2013, graduating magna cum laude. An accomplished children's literature writer, Balakwit has authored and contributed to numerous published works including Lito, Ang Munting Superhero, Ang Mundo Kong Kahel, Si Islaw at Ang Miyembro ng Kagubatan, and several other storybooks released by established publishers. Her literary excellence has earned her the Kids' Choice Awardee 2024 during the 8th National Children's Book Awards and the Gawat Teodora Alonso Hall of Fame Awardee 2018 in the National Competition on Storybook Writing. In the field of basic education, she has been recognized widely for her teaching performance, receiving distinctions such as the 2024 Outstanding Teacher of Caraga Region, Bulawanog Sulo, 2023 Outstanding Elementary Teacher Finalist, and Outstanding Elementary Teacher Award from DepEd Division of Agusan del Norte. Through her parallel contributions to education and children's literature, she continues to advance literary creativity and excellence in teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Ms. Mariel Galion Balakwit. We also have a distinguished academician and researcher currently serving as the Vice President for Research, Extension, and Journal Publication at Magsaysay College, Misamis Oriental, Philippines. He began his academic journey by earning his Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English from Mount View College of Valencia City, Bukidnon. He further pursued his Master of Arts in Curriculum Design, Development, and Supervision, major in English at St. Paul University, Manila, Philippines. Subsequently, he completed his Doctor of Philosophy in English, major in Literature at the University of San Jose Recoletos, Cebu City. Dr. Arcilia is an associate member of the National Research Council of the Philippines under the Department of Science and Technology, affirming his recognition as a researcher in the Republic of the Philippines. He was conferred the National Recognition Outstanding Researcher of the Year 2020 by the Instabright e-Gazette during the awarding ceremony held at the Tagaytay International Convention Center in January 11, 2020. He also earned a Certified Research Specialist awarded by the Visionary Research Association on August 11, 2024. During the proctored examination conducted via Zoom, which assessed participants' comprehensive research skills and knowledge, Dr. Arcilia excelled and secured a place in top 3. In addition, He is a certified research development consultant and as an active scholar, lecturer, and resource speaker. Dr. Arcilia has participated in various national and international research activities. To date, he has authored 34 international peer-reviewed publications with 309 citations verifiable through Google Scholar. His academic and research engagements reflect his sustained commitment to advancing knowledge production, research excellence, and scholarly leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Felix E. Arcilia, Jr. We also have a Master Teacher 1 and currently serving as the Academic and TVL Track Head in the Senior High School in Carmen. She earned her Master of Arts in Education major in Filipino Literature from the Philippine Normal University, Mindanao, and is currently pursuing her Doctor of Philosophy major in Filipino at the University of Immaculate Concepcion, Davao City. As an educator and academic leader, she has demonstrated notable excellence in research mentorship, having guided learners to first place in Division Physical Science Research Competitions and to first place in the Regional Physics Science Research Competition in 2025, which also qualified for the national level. Her professional engagements reflect her strong commitment to instructional leadership, research excellence, and the advancement of quality education. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Kiuni Eileen F. Balista. He is currently a Teacher 3 at Buena Vista SPED High School. He earned his Bachelor of Secondary Education major in General Science from Philippine Normal University, Mindanao in 2015. He completed his Master of Science in Education with specialization in Physical Science at Caraga State University in 2022. Currently, he is pursuing his Doctor of Philosophy in Science Education at Northeastern Mindanao State University, Tandag. His academic and professional engagements reflect his commitment to excellence in science, education, and continuous professional growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. John Baring. She is an assistant professor of Caraga State University and currently serves as the head of the Office of Student and Leadership Development. She holds a doctor in human resource management and is a licensed professional teacher and certified human resource associate. Dr. Solis has been actively engaged in research and academic development with interests centered on faculty performance and the integration of intelligence, emotional and adversity quotients in the Bani world. She co-authored the study, Faculty Performance in Relation to the Core Dimension of the Adversity Quotient in Higher Education, and has also contributed to the research initiatives on sustainable coffee farming and data-driven agricultural management in the Caraga region. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Sandra T. Solis. Next up is a young professional with his interests built within the walls of the academe, being born and raised in a fisherfolk community in Buena Vista, Agusan del Norte. He found his love in the social sciences as he earned his sociology degree at Caraga State University as the first summa cum laude of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and the first to do it in the entire history of the AB Sociology program of Caraga State University. His vision of contributing to his community by utilizing the knowledge, skills, and opportunities brought to him by the academe has driven him to take sociology. As part of his professional pursuits, he is furthering his professional background by earning his Master of Arts in Sociology at Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology. Throughout his career, he has engaged in various research endeavors. Currently, he is a member of the research study funded by the Department of Health in understanding antenatal care in the region and assessing community impact of social development and management program of Greenstone Resources Corporation. His field of interests revolve around grassroots studies, fisher folk empowerment, gender studies, and community impact assessment. He has also been invited as a resource speaker in various organizations and corporations like the Mines Geosciences Bureau Caraga, Department of Agrarian Reform Agusan del Norte, and various mining companies around the region. He is currently guiding the student journalists of the Gold Panicle Office, the official student publication of Caraga State University, as the office's technical advisor for scribes. Mr. Napone is also involved in different extension services of his university, as he is currently the extension focal person of the Department of Sociology of Caraga State University. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Jeremiah Napone. Last but not the least, she is a graduate of the Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English from St. Michael College of Caraga and earned her Master of Arts in Education specializing in English language teaching from Caraga State University. She is currently pursuing her Doctor of Education in Educational Management and is likewise taking a bridging course in Master of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management at Caraga State University. A licensed professional teacher, she is presently connected with the Department of Education Agusan del Norte. In her school, she serves as the research coordinator and senior high school coordinator and is recognized as the first to have published an international study in their institution. She is a certified research associate of the Instabright International Guild of Researchers and Educators, Inc., a peer reviewer of the SMCC Higher Education Journal, and an international peer reviewer of Beyond Books Publications International Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Studies based in Macabebe, Pampanga, and Colorado, USA. She has published 2 international research papers and has presented her studies in international fora through the Philippine Association of Researchers and Statistical Software Users and the International Ignatian Journal for Multidisciplinary Research. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our last session judge, Ms. Divina Grace Sanoria Mateo. That was an extensive list, right? But, of course, our researchers will push through it. They can do it. That being said, let us now proceed to the highlight of today's program, our keynote session. Of course, our keynote is entitled Advancing Social Equity and Justice Through Transformative Evidence-Based Research Initiatives. This keynote address invites us to reflect on the crucial role of research not only as an academic endeavor, but as a powerful instrument for inclusion, justice, and meaningful social transformation. For our keynote presentation, allow me to read the bio note of our keynote speaker this morning. He is a licensed teacher and a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts in English and Master of Arts in English Language Studies, both in Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology, where he is also currently teaching. He finished his PhD English major in language at the University of San Jose Recoletos, Cebu City last September 2025. As a researcher, he has presented more than 10 international conferences in the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and South Korea. Educational technology in the English language classrooms sponsored by the U.S. Department of State and a graduate research fellow to the 19th Southeast Asian Forum organized by the National University of Singapore. As an ally of the arts, he was a fellow to the 8th Amelia Lapina Bonifacio Writers Workshop by the UP Institute of Creative Writing, the 24th IAS LaSalle National Writers Workshop, and also to the 32nd Iligan National Writers Workshop. His poems have appeared in Bisaya Magazine, Bangsamoro Literary Review, San Anselmo Press, Dakinaiya, Antolohiya ng mga makabagong tinig mula sa LGBTQIA++, published by UP Press, Libulan Volume 2, and Voice and Verse, a literary publication based in Hong Kong, among others. Among his literary recognitions include being the first place winner in the first Kinaiya Collective ng mga LGBTQIA+ na manunulat poetry contest. Third place for Tula in Gawad Tacos of Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology. And first place for the Jimmy Balakwit Award for Children's Story. Ladies and gentlemen, for our keynote address, let us welcome Associate Professor Lord Gregory D. Crisol.
Hello. All right. Thank you so much, sir. To the President of SMCC, Reverend Father Roniel G. Babano, to Dr. Beverly D. Haminal, the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Research, Sir Kenneth Ayan B. Barrera, the Head of Research and Instructional Innovations, fellow educators, students from all over Caraga, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Okay, it feels so awesome to be here. It's like a homecoming because you know what? The first school I worked in, the name was also St. Michael College of Iligan. So I'm here talking again. This time it's still St. Michael College, but of Caraga. And it feels so awesome because after reading the papers yesterday, I said to myself, wow, so much potential, really. So much awesome research papers made by students all over Caraga. So you deserve a pat on the back. Good job, everyone. Okay. And with that, allow me to start my presentation. So to start my presentation today, allow me to show you some statistics here about the Scopus publications in the Philippines. Okay, so as you can see, we are fairly somewhere in the middle, in the ASEAN region. So far, as of 2024, we have published around 7,890. We're not in the bottom part, we're not also in the top part, but I think we could say that this is a significant number of publications produced by our country. Okay. Next, in terms of production from DepEd, this is based on the budget accounting report for the fourth quarter of 2023. 678 researches were published. Isn't that amazing? No? Dagan kayo siya ang outputs from DepEd. These all involve policy implementation and development, and this is direct quotation. The overachievement is attributable to the high number of action researches produced from field offices. In 2024, 1,577 publications. Right? 650, 1,500, 7,000. So that's a lot of researches being produced by our country each year. But interestingly, statistics also would say that 18.96 million or 21% Filipino junior and senior high school cannot read. Isn't that ironic? And understand a simple story. But I'm sure all students here can understand a simple story, right? And in PISA 2022, we were sixth to the last in reading and mathematics, third to the last in science among 81 countries. And Filipino students' score in reading is 347, science 357, math 353. We are below the average all over the world. And that is despite the researches we are doing. In fact, despite the increase of people engaging in research, this according to a research publication, globally, there is still an abundance of data fabrication, manipulation, which can account for 49.4% of reported cases. The lack of transparent and appropriate ethics approval contributes to 28%. This makes us ask, why do we do research? How do we do research? And that is where my presentation will revolve around this morning. So I titled my presentation as Transforming Knowledge Systems, Evidence-Based Trajectories Towards Equity and Justice. So in my presentation, I would like to make it in a sort of proposal of what we could actually do to help improve our ways in doing research. Okay? So why is research important, by the way? So it's the cornerstone of our progress as a country and development. It is the basis for policy approval, innovations, and it enhances our knowledge and it provides solution to challenges. Through research, the country can advance in health, technology, education, environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability like how to control pollution, population problem, the livelihood of like fisher folks and the agricultural sector. All of these can become better through the use of research. We can create new industries because of research. Like for example, we have so many livelihood projects being created by the DOST, if you notice, boosts economic growth and improves the quality of life for citizens. So as such, this is more of a keynote of a proposal of how we can integrate new policies and reforms to make our research equitable and just. Because as what I presented with the statistics earlier, there is like mismatch of output versus what's happening in the actual reality that we are facing. So first, let's talk about equity. So allow me to show you a picture. So we have here a playing field. Okay, so a playing field and then there's a fence. So first one is there's a tall boy and a girl in pink and then a boy in wheelchair. In the first picture, they are provided with 3 the same shape, size boxes. The second one, the tall boy is not given a box. Instead, the girl is given a box because she is shorter, while the boy is provided a ramp. Okay, question. Raise 1 if you feel the answer is 1, and 2 if you feel that the answer is 2. Okay? My question is, which one is equity? So that I will just know if you're familiar with the difference between equity and equality. Which one is equity? 1 or 2? Okay, I see plenty of 2s. Okay, very good. Good job. Pwede na magmagna cum laude tanan. Okay, so that's correct. So the first picture is equality. The second one is equity. What's the difference between equality and equity? So the assumption is that everyone benefits from the same support. Okay? This is like we are imposing our worldviews, our background. For example, I think everyone needs a box so that everyone can see. But that's not necessarily true, right? Because what we need really is equity. Equity is everyone gets the support they need because not everyone requires the same support. In fact, there was this study we wanted to do in our college, in IIT, College of Our Social Sciences. We wanted to provide assistance to the badyaws. Because there is a tendency, Manggod, when we see the badyaws, we feel that, maybe they need education because that's why they're still, familiar matag badyaws, right? They're still begging in the streets. So we said, what if we educate them? But you know what? One of the sociology teachers said, maybe they do not want to be educated. Maybe they are using the power of that othering, being kanang like that, so that they can have money. Okay? Because you know what? Nowadays, there is a study daw being done about the bajaw. Some get as much as 700 pesos per day. So why would I want to have a job if I can just go to the streets and earn as much as 700 pesos a day? Right? So maybe we are trying to impose our values and educational system to people who might not need it. So that's why equity is more important than equality. All right. So how do we do this in research practice? Instead of doing research from a perspective of privilege, because usually we impose something because we are in a privileged point of view, we listen and we expose ourselves to what is actually happening from the ground. So we allow ourselves to immerse with the people. And how we do that? So that's why I'm saying this is a proposal, because there is what we call as decolonialism. I have this favorite teacher in my PhD studies. His name is Dr. Othman Barnawi. He is a well-published teacher in the Middle East, and then he has so many books in Europe, like Routledge, that level of publication. He is really one of the teachers who taught us decolonizing. Go back to our roots and give back to the people. So allow me to play a video which will show you a certain level of what is Psikolohiyang Pilipino and what does it mean to do research using our own local framework, not the Western framework. And this might push forward the concept of equity for us. Yes?
Differences between Filipino psychology and Western psychology. Western psychology fundamentally is based on a highly individualistic culture. I, me, mine. The Maslow theory of a self-fulfilled self. You climb the ladder and when you reach there, then you're at the peak of it, then that's self-fulfillment. But we are nowhere near a highly individualistic society. We cannot copy and paste the American hardcore individualism. We are essentially a collectivist society. Analyze the language. I love you. Translate. Ako, mahal, ikaw. Wrong. Mahal kita. The subject, ako, I, is no longer there. It's an assumed subject. Mahal, love, kita. Kita is not you. Kita is you and me together. So already in one word, you have the two of you together. Which brings us to kapwa. So what is kapwa? It is at the core of psychology. It is the shared inner self. Kapwa in English is I, you, and we together in one word. So when you share an inner self, you will have what is called Filipino personality. And to understand this better, let's talk about the concept of loob in Filipino psychology. Loob is a sacred space. So imagine a vase. Merong loob, which is inside the vase. Merong labas, which is outside. When you're on top of the vase, there is mababaw. But if you go deep underneath the vase, that's malalim. Malayo if it's very far, and malapit if it's very near. In Filipino human relationships, mula sa labas, patungo sa loob. Yun ang direksyon. Mula sa distant, naging close. Mula sa malayo, naging malapit. Mula sa mababaw, naging malalim. So ang goal palagi ay makapasok sa loob. Pero ang loob is sacred space, a sacred consciousness. So you'd only want that space to be for those you can truly love and trust. But that is the goal for Filipinos. Not self-actualization, but to be in that sacred space where we can show each other values like kabutihang loob. Kabutihang loob is doing good, doing right. So this is what we believe in Psikolohiyang Pilipino.
Okay, cut, please. Thank
And so
you.
this brings us to our question. Are Filipino...
Yeah, we go back to our PowerPoint. All right. So isn't that beautiful? That's how we actually think. You are my kapwa. I am you. You are me. We are together as one kapwa. That's how we think. Because in the Western, it's really scientific. Dissect, analyze. Diba? One of, if you go to Bloom's taxonomy, one highlight there, higher order thinking skills is analysis. Diba? You take apart. But for us, we put together. You become part of me, I become you. We become a community. That is Psikolohiyang Pilipino. And that's how we decolonize our way of thinking about things, even in doing research. And I think that is how we achieve equity when we do research. So this approach is actually more organic to us because from the IU perspective, research participant boundary, it is transformed to a we perspective. From informants, corpus, respondents, these are often words I read yesterday based on the informants, based on the corpus, based on the respondents. We look at them as collaborators. You are a human soul, you are a human spirit, and I am here listening to you, and we can come up with knowledge and wisdom together. So, this is also organic to us because this is actually based on our culture and experience, the Pilipinong psikolohiya. And are there papers doing this? Actually, in the Philippines, yes, there are already papers being done using this decolonial mentality. In fact, this is one of them. This is entitled A Participatory Documentation of Indigenous Knowledge Systems and Practices of the Matig Salug. In fact, among the research team, there is Avelino Tawas, Basilio Tumindog, Anisita Manumpong. These are all part of the community. They are not just part of the informants, they are part of the team. They are collaborators in the research. Unfortunately, this is not that much practiced in our country because Western practices still dominate. We are still going for survey, we are still going for Google Forms, right? But actually, we can decolonize these things one step at a time. That's why I'm saying that this is a proposal for decolonization so that we can achieve equity. In other countries, decolonizing research is also gaining traction. Here are some few examples. In New Zealand, okay, there's a research there, Maori Indigenous Values and Tourism Business Sustainability. How can tourism business be sustainable? So they talk to the locals, the natives, and they are collaborators in the research. In fact, one of the heads, Adam Kirihimeti, she is part of the community. We also have in Africa, Southernizing and Decolonizing Sociology of Language, African Scholarship. And this third one, I think this is a beautiful study. Decolonizing also. It's titled Ngopi as Methodology, Reclaiming Indonesian Practices for Knowledge Co-Creation. Decolonizing as well. What they did is that in Indonesia, they are fond of drinking coffee time together. It is part of their culture. So, they will collect data while talking to each other while drinking coffee. And isn't that more natural setting, more organic? Because it's as if you're just talking with a friend. Coffee. In fact, if you go back to Greece, if you go back to Greece, and I guess Father knows this because from philosophy, they have what we call as symposium or symposia. They exchange knowledge together while drinking wine because there is truth in alcohol daw. So, symposium, diba? Maybe we can come up with a decolonizing approach to that. Tagay as a decolonizing approach, right? So maybe this is the more organic way of going about with our papers. And applying Psikolohiya Pilipino methodologies. These are the methodologies you could use if you want to apply Psikolohiya Pilipino. You have pakapa-kapa, groping. So if you go to the community, you involve observation, pagmamasid. You involve pagtatanong-tanong, asking questions to people. pagsubok, trying out things, pag-visitation, pagdalaw, joining, pakikilahok, pakikigsangkot, pagtanong-tanong. And in pagtanong-tanong here, you go to the community, and then it's not as if, okay, question number 1. What do you think? It's not like that, but rather, you are both participants in the question and answer process that happens. So it's as if the other, why ganun nanguta naman ka? Because, and in fact, there is also an art actually in asking. Like for example, you don't just say, what is beauty for you? Like for example, there is a study in Mountain Province, what is beauty for you? You don't ask like that. You have descriptors, for example. If let's say, my hair bangs is until here, is that beautiful for you? Yes or no? If my teeth is blackened, is that beautiful for you? If I have a long neck, is that beautiful for you? You break it down into parts. So there is even an art in asking questions. No? And it's more organic to us because by nature, Filipino are curious. In fact, we have a terminology, marites. We are curious even if it's not our problem. We go there, no, sa dito. Right? Oh, that's more organic, right? And pakipagkwentuhan, talking, that could be already part of a decolonizing process. Pagdalaw, okay. By the way, many people do ethnographic studies, and then usually you would get shocked because ethnographic studies, they just do it for 1 week or 1 month. Actually, when you do ethnographic studies, when you immerse with people, it should be a long term. In fact, we have one faculty in the sociology department, Dr. Nimfra Bacamonte. She's already called the Bajau Mama or something like that, the Bajau lady, because she has stayed with the Bajau for a long time. In fact, she can now speak Bajau. Whenever she visits Tambacan area where the Bajau live, they welcome her like she's just part of the family. And that's ethnography. A long time immersion with people so that you can really gain their trust. You become part of the community. We have pakikisama and pakikipanuluyan sa pag-unawa tungo sa kahulugan ng panahon. Even marking time, the setting, you can actually analyze that. Like for example, the now and the past. You can ask, unsay diferensya sa karon o sa una? And we often do that, di ba? We are a reflective community. In fact, my lolo and my mama would always, katong sa una, di ba? Mahilig kayo sila to speak like that. That can be part of Psikolohiyang Filipino methodology. The environment, what is the difference between now and then in regarding the environment? Even the passing of time. Have you heard of the expression nga, paspas lagi kayong oras, no? Even that could be analyzed in Psikolohiyang Filipino. And I think that's beautiful, right? So this approach takes into account the emotions and experience and knowledge of our native people, kalooban and kamalayan, awareness of the surrounding, ulirat, information, understanding, isip, habits and behavior of people, diwa, and even the soul, kaluluwa, the basis for conscience among Filipinos. Now, let's go to dissemination. Okay, so I've already talked about methodology. So you can use it to decolonize, and then it could be a useful force for equity. Even in disseminating our papers, it could be a powerful force for pushing equity in our society, in our community. Okay, so I guess you've heard of this mantra, right? Especially for the teachers, publish or perish if ever you are in the academic world, no? Publish or perish. Scopus ki dapat ha, okay? Or else you will not become promoted for points. Like that. Okay. And because of this, there is an aggressive, we are very aggressive in publishing. That's why we have now a terminology called junkification. Diba? That's a new word that is coined by Rhodes and Linulewake. And in their essay, they consider the emergent phenomenon of junkification in academic research publishing. The term junkification coined to describe increased volume of low quality content and products permeating digital platforms. As long as may mapasa, basig ma-shoot. As long as nakoy pang points, go. Right? And somewhat the quality of the paper becomes lessened. It becomes quantity over quality. No? So, what can we do about this? Again, going back to decolonization. As we take from the community, we need to give back. This is the true essence of research. Not for personal gains na ma-promote or what, but rather, we are going there to the community so that we can help them improve their life. That's why we're doing research, because so that we can improve the world, no? For example, how to treat cancer, for example, or how to find a cure for dengue, for example. These are the beautiful effects of research. So, by being able to give back, that's how we push for equity. So again, another proposal, not necessarily come up with research papers. Yes, you may continue pushing for research papers because, of course, these are requirements, practical needs, and then maybe this is your best way for finding out new knowledge. But allow me to share that last year when I joined the International Conference for Free Linguistics Conference in UST, University of Santo Tomas, one of our speakers said that actually there are many ways of disseminating your research, not just through research publications. And I will show that in a while. According to one of the keynote speakers there, Sir Nicanor Ginto, who is, by the way, a graduate of the Hong Kong University and in collaboration with the Royal King's College of London, he was one of our keynote speakers. He said that a freeing and equitable research begins by opening up knowledge, production, and dissemination initiatives to our own language, knowledge, and experience. And this does not necessarily automatically equate with just publishing research papers. So, he said that you can actually come up with reels, videos, and I think we are a TikTok, what do we call TikTok generation now. Even TikTok or YouTube could be a platform for disseminating your research. For example, here he gave 2 examples during his talk. Citizen social linguistics. So the study of our student is Ponto sa Katanawan. What is the accent of Katanawan? And then they came up with a reel to disseminate the information about that. Or maybe here, di ba? I guess you already know what's the difference between dialect and language. Language is a code used by certain people, and then the varieties of this code is the dialect. Maybe you can come up with dialect of the Caraga area, right? So for example, or code switching used in the Caraga area, and come up with reels and TikTok videos of that so that you would have a platform to disseminate the research you were able to come up. So video, reels, and TikTok could be a platform. You can even have coming up with storybooks. In fact, for example, this book titled Kaob Ufudan Shin Lijhang Yuta by Aklat Alamid, what they did, they went to the mountain province, they interviewed people from there, the mountain province. And you know what? When the book came out, when it was published, they gave it back to the community. They shared it to the people so that they would be able to see their lives, their stories in a book. And I think that's beautiful, right? Even poetry. For example, I have one entry here because I have a colleague in the department. He did a study about have you ever heard of the Diandi Festival in Iligan City? The Diandi Festival is our tribute to the patrons in St. Michael College, and then their fight with the devil. So I was able to come up with a research about that, the fight of the angel and the devil, and then publish it as a poem here in this book. So videos, books, poetry, you can even have zines. Have you heard of zines before? Usually in the literary world, these are pamphlet types that you could be artsy about it, come up with like your cutouts and all, and then come up with your mini publication to be distributed to people. And is this a valid kind of dissemination? Yes. In fact, Journal of American Anthropologist, and its Scopus published, it said that, welcome to the Anthropozine, DIY booklets as alternative to the peer-reviewed publication. So at the end of the day, we get to find out that, hey, journal articles are not the only way to disseminate my knowledge. If I really want to give it back to my community, there are other ways also of doing it. Books, poetry, reels, even zines that you personally made. But again, this is a proposal. I'm not telling you, ayaw na mo pagkuhan thesis and all. Do with academic work. And if you feel that you would grow more with that, okay. But this is new perspective that you might be interested in pursuing in the future. Okay. Now, let's talk about justice. Because in the Philippines, sorry, up. Okay, anyway, up. Could you go back, please, a bit? There, justice. All right. If we cannot practice justice with how we're doing with research, this will also be reflective with how we go about with research in our communities. So, by starting with how we go about with the research, we'll also go a long way when we go to our communities. And where is this founded on? So, this is actually founded on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to really follow ethical protocols with whatever we do. In fact, when I went to South Korea last year for an international conference, I asked one of the paper presenters, ma'am, she's a Filipina from Berkeley University, Ma'am Bernadette. I asked her, ma'am, when you went to Jeju, because you collected data here, did you secure ethical clearance? You know what her answer was? She said that everything with a heartbeat needs an ethical clearance. Grabe, no? Everything with a heartbeat. So all that will involve life will need ethical clearance because this is founded in Universal Human Declaration as well as the Helsinki Declaration. And why do we need this? Because there are so many malpractices being done in the research community. And here are some of them. I hope wala rin maiguani. Okay? But I know we are honest people. Yes. Okay. The practice of research tend to include authors with no or limited contribution to an article. Ka-author ko be, even if wala gid siya gi-contribute, just because nag-panel siya or whatsoever, okay? Contributor, co-author. And that is malpractice because if you really go to the essence of co-author, you work together, hand in hand. Not really like you were a flower, like you just edited a few grammar, co-author already. Okay. Next, conducted study involving research without ethical approval. And this is a big deal right now, ethical clearance. In any journal right now, if they see that you don't have ethical clearance, automatic, usually desktop rejection. Okay? Data fabrication and manipulation, this is the worst thing. And there are many theses so that they would come up with a beautiful, nga marag ilang nag-idealize na sila nga, dapat anig yun ang target ng output. So ilang i-manipulate nga, nag-yes daw instead of saying nga nag-no di ay ito ang mga people. Right? So manipulation is malpractice. The lack of transparent and appropriate ethics. Like for example, ethical clearance is also part of it. Like you would tell your informants that, I'm doing this research because I want to find out, klaruhon sa ilaha. Okay? And many researchers, okay, basahan lang na. Right? Or ipabasa silang English paper and then ilang yato is community nga who do not even know English because wala sila kahumanog school. That's also unethical, right? So klaruhon. Okay, next. Violation of data privacy. Revelation of confidentiality and names. According to Mr. Lord Gregory Crisol, he said that in this, so that's violation because something could happen to the people involved in your paper if you violate privacy. Violation of confidentiality and anonymity. Plagiarism. This is one of the worst things. Not citing who is the source of your paper. Conflict of interest. You are doing your research paper to make a certain, for example, you are being sponsored by a big company and then you want to show that they are doing environmental justice. So, they are paying you and then you are doing that research to come up with positive responses. That's actually a conflict of interest. And research made solely through AI, OMG. There are many students who are really suspects of this, creating papers out of AI. Even as simple as essay in class, sometimes I'm so shocked, even my students still follow dash. Or they would put, let me help you with that. Let me help you with that. So, marag AI gid siya, no? In fact, I have a cousin. He was in high school. They were asked to come up with a baby thesis. My cousin, I know his capability in writing English. And then he said, Kuya, my name is Lord. Kuya Lord, could you help me with, not English, Bisayan siya. Kuya Lord, could you help me with my baby thesis? Could you go over it? And I read it. And then the words he used were so highfalutin. Like for example, the existential crisis faced by the democratic leaders. Oh my God, bongga. I can't even write in this manner, di ba? So these are malpractices. And I hope we do not commit this. Oh, speaking of AI, I just gave a talk about AI yesterday at El Salvador College. Please make it a tool only, not become the replacement of you. The you should still be there. It should just be like to provide feedback for you or provide grammar check for you, okay? So not the replacement. So how do I avoid this? So trainings are really important. And reinforcement of policies. Academic journals, funding bodies have a responsibility to support researchers, upholding research ethics and integrity. And researchers must continuously update themselves and stay informed about ethical guidelines. Us ourselves, we need to police ourselves when we do research. Sometimes it's tempting to make AI write the paper because the deadline is 10 minutes from now. I just put my prompt and AI, please come up with chapter 1, 2, and 3. Oh, grabe na, right? So, kato siya, police yourself, okay? And last is avoid publishing in predatory journals because these predatory journals, if they cannot have any publications, they will not have money because predatory journals usually gain money if you publish with them. So if you don't publish from this predatory journal, you kill off their supplies, okay? Just like what is happening right now. Our supplies are being killed out, no? So what do you call this? Yes, avoid predatory journals. In fact, there was this post on Facebook. It was so funny because there was a predatory journal who asked a researcher, can you become one of the reviewers of this research paper? And then he posted it because he is one of the authors of that paper. Isa siya sa mga nagsulat ato nga paper ba? And then ask siya, could you review this paper? Ako i-review akong self. Diba? It does not make sense, no? So because, again, predatory journal. Many of these just go to certain websites, having conferences with emails of people, and then they collect this, and then they start emailing you. And if you are not like conscious or vigilant about it, you would really believe, oh, wow, this is nice. Publish in 2 days or publish in 3 days. Oh my God, that's a red flag. Or publish in 1 week because really, you can like go over an entire paper and like publish in 1 week, no? So these are red flags, okay? We need to be vigilant about these predatory journals. And to close my talk for today, upholding ethics ensures respect for human dignity and participants' rights. It's only when we uphold equity and justice in our research practice that knowledge becomes meaningful and transformative. So these are my resources. And thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Crisol, for that awe-inspiring keynote presentation. And now, researchers, we proceed to the awarding of a certificate and token. May we invite our school president, Reverend Father Ronil G. Babano, and our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Research, Dr. Beverly D. Haminal, and our Head for Research and Instructional Innovation Department, Dr. Kenneth Ian Barrera, for the giving of certificate of token and appreciation. St. Michael College of Caraga proudly presents the Certificate of Commendation to Dr. Lord Gregory D. Crisol for his invaluable contribution as a keynote speaker during the Second Regional Student Research Conference 2026 with the theme Advancing Social Justice and Equity Through Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation. His participation contributed meaningfully to the success of the conference and to SMCC's continuing commitment to research excellence and innovation. Given the 7th day of April 2026 at St. Michael College of Caraga, Nasipit, Agusan del Norte, Philippines. Signed by Dr. Kenneth Ian B. Barrera, Beverly D. Haminal, and Reverend Father Roniel G. Babano, STL. A round of applause, please. And now, researchers, after our keynote presentation, we will be proceeding with the poster gallery walk. Okay? So, to our presenters for the posters, please stand by in your designated areas as our session judges or our judges will go over your designated areas as well. Once again, to our researchers, please stand by to your designated posters as our judges will go to each and every one of these posters. Thank you and good morning. And to our audience here present, you are also allowed to ask questions to our researchers, no? So it is very much encouraged na you ask questions to our researchers because our researchers are very eager to answer questions. Not only our judges, but also to our audience present this morning. Once again, to our student researchers, please go over to your designated posters. And to our participants, to our audience, you can go over each poster, glance over them, and ask questions if you want. Because our researchers are more than welcome, eager to respond to any questions that you have.
Okay, so hello everyone. So it's almost 12 and we're going to have our lunch. So for those presenters, please try to look at your ID. At the back of that, there is this food stab. So ang atuang food will be served on our audiovisual room na diri as